Welcome back. This is the story of how I was struck by the energy of a meteor. And if you don't believe it, then it's not going to be interesting to have the details filled in for you. But I'm filling in the details because it was real. So, anyway, to recap, I I had a psychic experience and it led me to meditate. And at the end of the fourth meditation, I was struck by a powerful energy. And I want to have a separate episode for that and describe exactly how that took place. But you'll have to stay tuned for that because I really want to go into all the things about it. I had now had two profound experiences. One, hearing the voice of Natalie Wood and feeling like, now 14 years later, I get in this contact, so to speak, from Natalie Wood, and I watch a biography of her life, and I see all these amazing similarities between us. And I mean, it even goes to her wedding and all that, but I'm going to cover that in another episode. It prompted me to meditate and look at anything that made any sense to me. I mean, be it, look, I'm not an astrologer, a person who looks at zodiacs and all these things, but I do recognize the fact that over centuries, astrology has kept time of the patterns of the planets and all that. So, there's something to the rhythms of various astrologies, and there's an astrology in the East and an astrology in the West. And so in the Eastern philosophy, I was born in 1965, and that is the year of the snake. And snake, it surprised me when I started to look this up that snake year people can apparently transcend into the spirit world, and it has this ability. So, that just reinforces my trust. When I start reading about any kind of thing on my phenomenon, it always seems to just lead to the same, trust. And I was thinking about going up to that sort of dimensional boundary between the spirit world and just, I suppose, human energy from the flesh and blood energy that runs around our bodies. And so as I meditated, I went up to that boundary that I had perceived the night before, so to speak. I wasn't conjuring it up. What happened was I was breathing and relaxed, and I started to see a pattern emerging, kind of like a wormhole, but of squares. And if I follow the squares, they take me to a more and more focused point. And as I was, meditating on this various point, I came upon this boundary. And the night before, I had seen Natalie Wood on the other side, but she had injured herself in the meditation. And so on the second night, I was expecting to see Natalie Wood. But the strangest thing happened this night as I approached the boundary. Rather than stopping short of it, I immediately transformed into a snake and followed this sort of hole. And the reason why snakes apparently can transcend into the spirit world is because they can go in, live on the surface and follow tunnels into the underground. And so I'm following this, like now a snake, and I pass through, and suddenly what appeared to me is this pond in front of the Bodhi tree at the place where the Buddha was enlightened. And I immediately saw the Buddha on the other side of the pond. And my snake body just sailed right across the water, and I came around to the back of the Buddha, and I fanned out like the great King Cobra and protected the Buddha from the rain that was coming down. And as I did this, a light emerged from the Buddha, and I saw like a multifaceted diamond prism, and it radiated white and spectral colors. Second meditation did was again open up my brain to seeing things that weren't of my origin. I didn't imagine this scenario. I have been to Bodh Gaya, I've seen the pond, but the pond I saw in my meditation wasn't the pond of today. It was more of a pond of the time of Buddha. And I did know the story of the Buddha, but I, as a snake, when I was going through the hole, I did not feel like I was a king cobra or any one of any importance at all. I was simply just following a vision, trying to see whether being a snake would allow me to pass through the boundary between the spirit world and the earthly world and the spirit world, and see Natalie Wood for real, because my thinking now was all about Natalie Wood. I had a broken wrist. I had a similar wedding date. I had, a daughter named Natalie and a sister 7.5 years younger than me. And all of these things with Natalie Wood. So I was expecting to see Natalie Wood, but when I crossed that border, what played out in front of me again was a scenario sort of religious importance.
Is this the sixth week?
Sixth week here.
And what happened here?
When the Buddha meditating surrounding this area, then very heavy rain and thunders arises. That time this Uruvela forest King Cobra, come here near the Buddha and protect to the Buddha with his mouth and body.
And so, as the night before, I had seen how if I cried for Jesus, the love of Jesus appeared as a light. That Jesus, I saw a light, and he transformed into a dolphin, which, if you know about symbols in the Bible, Jesus is the dolphin. The dolphin is the symbol of Jesus. And I'm going to talk again about about the symbols and things on a later episode. I find this place very interesting because as the people write on the whiteboards, I expected them to show the differences between people, but every person in this film, they think and they write, and when I looked at them all together, I said, wow, we really are amazingly similar. And so it's for me, it's kind of cool to be in a place where the Buddha himself came to this realization too.
Yeah. Even Buddha say like that, every regions have like a cause. Like without cause, no any happening. Suppose that if you are coming here, so that's have one cause. You are coming here and I meet to you. So Buddha's just related like in this way. Without cause, we can't meet each other.
So you look to the half pyramid, we will see the decoration, very gorgeous.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah, and it's framed by the Naga, the Makara, and the head of the Makara is called by the serpent we call Naga. In the middle, you will see three heads of elephant with three trunks. On the back of elephant, you will see the figure of the god called is Shiva god.